in this journal is 30 days of art journaling. So my business BFF, Lauren, and I, we went to San Francisco and we did 30 days of art journaling with Creativebug, and I'll add a link below. And what we did is we decided making the class was not enough for us. We were going to take the class ourselves. And so that's what we did in the whole of September. And so we met every day on Instagram Live at 12:31. So, 1 o'clock, I think. And we just made again. And as a result, I've got a finished journal again from 30 days of work. There's a little bit in the beginning that I've got from Asheville as I tested the paper. It was in Asheville before we went to San Francisco, and I knew that we were going to be using this journal for our Creativebug class, and I'd never used the paper before, so I wanted to test it out. There you go. So the first page, like always, I use it as an introduction. You can see I started on July 21st. This is just one of my all-time favorite vintage floral pictures, and I just stuck that down there, added my stats. Testing them out with some modeling paste. Using watercolors. This is a technique that I'm going to be teaching in the we're teaching another class, so this isn't the 30-day one, but this is one for mindful art journaling. More testing. I brought a bunch of ephemera with me to use for the Creativebug class, and I think this could be from someone else. Since it's English, I'm going to say this could be from someone else. So we hung out with a group of artists while we were there, and they're amazing, and they all brought their ephemera stashes, so we all like raided each other's stashes and used it and played with that. So Lauren also tested this paper. You can see these are Lauren's like traditional colors, and then I added some brush lettering over it. This is playing with Jessica's Jane Davenport watercolors. Just sticking some papers that I like, more of this pool of watercolor, and then pattern made out of the corners and pulling the like wet spots into the dry spots, if that makes any sense, but this is just like play. This page we made live on one of the Creativebug live days. It was a get messy recipe. And what we do with those is we like say, okay, put a smear of paint down, which I assume was this, put down an image, make a blind, I think this one was make a blind contour, and then add a word for the day. And I used wilting because it was suggested in the live. I asked how everyone was feeling that day, and someone said wilting, and I just love that word so much. So I put that down, even though it's a little bit ridiculous. I think that person used it because she was really hot, but yeah. Good word, good color, I love this. I wish I could have stolen from Creativebug set. Some more pools of watercolor. This we made for another live shoot with Creativebug, and what we did with this one is we took a picture of Frida, we printed it out in black and white, and then we just embellished her. I'm not like a big fan of this, but I do kind of like connect tattoos. We added a quote from her. Yeah, this is not my normal style of page, but it was fun to do, and it was fun to mix these colors around and just move them on the page. Right, so then this was my like playing done, and I got back to Germany. Then in September, this is when we decided to do the art challenge again. So I wrote here a little bit. We went through the Creativebug Daily Challenge again and created live every single day of September. I used this picture of Lauren and I from Budapest. She took that with her Instax camera, and I just added a few of her favorite papers to it and titled the challenge. And then I knew for this journal, because it is so big and it's so much bigger than what I usually do. So I usually do moleskin, which is about that size. It's not much bigger, but it's definitely bigger than what I'm used to. I gave myself the permission to just use one side, or for example, like this is not really a completed page. I just gave myself complete permission just to play, just to use one side, just to test things out, just to repeatedly try a technique, try it with different medium, with different amounts of water, you know, just this is just an absolute journal of play, and it was so freeing for me and so much fun. So this is painting that my husband made, some typewriter, vintage book page, some more trying these watercolors out. This we made live. This page about kindness was in response to unkind words on the internet. And then here is some collage. On this page, I think it was in response to the modeling paste prompt in the Creativebug 30-day challenge. I made my own stencil with my silhouette portrait. I've got the smaller one. So I just made it up and put it through some transparency paper, and then I used that. So I could technically use the transparency sheet again to make this stencil again, but it is a little bit more flimsy and I'm not that interested in cleaning it, so I've made it kind of temporary. I don't mind that it took a while for it to cut, or it took a while to get all these tiny things off the stencil. If you've got a silhouette, you know how ridiculous it is when you've got intricate things that you need to take out, but I really quite like this. And this is a quote from Chuck Palahniuk, and I could not remember how to spell his name, so he's Chuck P there for that day. For this page, I used a vintage book sheet. I used some wrapping paper flowers that I just cut out. And these tabs are from Meg Journals on Etsy. I think, oh yeah, this book sheet is also from her. And this strip of pattern paper is directly from the Creativebug Studios. Courtney sent me a whole bunch of my journals and my supplies and stuff back, and she included some of this. I absolutely loved it. I loved it while I was there. I'm just obsessed. I think I used that for my blind contour flower there too. This is some more modeling paste play. These are just bits put together. Then my acrylic gouache came and I tested these out, and these guys are so beautiful. And I mean, as you can see, I just want to touch them. It feels so good. This page, this I didn't make during the challenge, but I really, really like these illustrations. I found this in a vintage bookstore in Speyer in Germany, and I just wanted to play with the gouache and with the color and just have fun, and I did, and I love how this looks. I don't know where it was going, I just knew that I was having fun. This page I feel like is very far away from my usual style, but I kind of like it now. I shared on Instagram, I shared how far away from my style it is. Everyone's like, no Caylee, like it does look like you. It's definitely got more layers than I'm used to. There's a lot of layers here. There's a lot going on. It's got more color than I'm used to. But I think maybe I kind of needed to do all of this. I used my typewriter here, some blind floral contours. This is not vintage, I mean, it's a postcard from 1920. I have a big stack of them, I love using them. Some ledger paper, This is some paper that was sent to me from Vanessa. It actually has some gold next to it that I cut out. And you can see something happened. I don't like this was not reacting well. I just popped over there, not on purpose. And I think after such a busy page, I needed to make a much calmer one. And this in our live, we spoke about balance and what balance looks like and how to make sure that we live a balanced life. And I'm very drawn to images of mothers and children, and so she's included there because obviously for me motherhood is something that I'm always trying to balance, and little peaks of this flower. Then this one was also made in live, and I just wanted to play with my acrylic gouache, and so you can see I use these two colors. I wrote a bit about, this is a song about a steal, I'm pretty sure, but I wrote a little bit about that, but I didn't want to actually journal about it, so it's just pretty much scribbles. And then I think a lot of these pages were I had finished, so I'd finished this page completely, and you can see this is quite a busy page for me, but Lauren had not finished, so I continued and I just played with this gouache, and this is the Lumo Red, which is such a pretty color. I just wanted to play with this. For this page, I just put down a whole bunch of vintage ephemera, another image of a mother, and then a little bit of journaling about that. This paint here is my acrylic gouache. It worked pretty well, and you can see over there I was too lazy with my brush, so it just went there. Likewise for this, it was drying out and I just squished a bunch over there. This page stemmed from my anxiety that day, you can see there. Covered it with some wax paper. This is some vintage paper. This is a photo, an image from a gardening magazine. The most random collection of images going over there. Paint chips, gouache, all of that happening on the page. Then this page I started off with the mustard yellow, and I feel like this is not very mustard yellowy, but I was not using a palette or anything to put the gouache on the page. I was just kind of putting it down and adding water to it, so that's what happens when that happens. Small vintage paper. A little page about kindness. And you can see, so that was made on the 1st of October. So I think that this could have been the last one. I didn't date all of them, except for this one apparently. I think maybe he just needed a little something over there and I dated him. So this one wasn't made for the challenge. I think it was just kind of to finish the book. You can see they have only got a few pages left after doing the 30-day challenge. And so I'm doing this. So like nothing really matches here. It's not a very cohesive page, but I did just want to play around. I think this is from Tori's Messy Marks class that's in Get Messy. And so I just played around with that a bit. Then he has some more of that flower, the botanical illustration with gouache dots. I love this color combo. Here's some more of my husband's painting, added to vintage books, and some typewritten words in Afrikaans. Basically means I don't know what I want, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what I am doing, sorry. And this one is a bit of journaling. So this page is like made in layers. It started out just being this piece of, I think this is packaging tape. It's packaging tape that was put on top of a jelly plate back in Asheville in America. And I just did that and I just stuck it down here. Then I tried to add some words. You can see them peeking out here. Stenciled words saying more or less. I was not enjoying that look, so I added some, you can see there, some modeling paste to that. Still not liking that look, so I added, she wanted all of it in brush script. Still not quite liking it. Added this vintage book page, those words, little leaf. Still not completely liking it, so I put some tissue paper over it and some glitter letters. So like these pages are a bit weird and they're not quite my style, but yeah, it was kind of a process. And then this sheet came from Der Spiegel, and my husband got recently, because we're old now apparently, made a subscription to a magazine. It's a weekly news magazine in Germany, and this was like a feature that came with it, and it was just so pretty. One side of the thing had this woman's eyes were open and the other side they were closed. So this one was open. Yeah. And I thought that this vintage photo of this woman with her child kind of matched with trying to understand the time, not the time, but time in general. And then that is the end of the journal. So that is look at that. It's a completely complete journal in a month, plus a few days. Yeah. I think that the Creativebug Daily Art Journal Challenge is just so much fun. Every day it's very, very low pressure with the challenges. They're super easy. They go, most of my lessons are about 5 minutes. Lauren's are a little bit longer than that because she is a bit more intricate with her art journaling. But every day it's like a tiny bit that you can use as a bounce, as a jumping off point, or you can just do that and just have a very simple page for yourself. Low pressure, super easy to make a 30-day challenge for yourself, and I highly suggest that you do it. If you want to take the class for free, I'll have a link in the description. Otherwise, Creativebug's super cheap every month. You can just pay. I'm definitely going to be revisiting that challenge and doing it again. I feel like you could make 100 pages from each of the prompts and then all look different because of how open the prompts are. And that's the way Lauren and I wanted it to be.